you to the food production and sustainability and proper nutrition, why it's important, and that is finally this decision. Over the last number of centuries, how our population grew. You can see in 1700 to 1900, there was no much of population increase, but after 1900s, most of us have seen 1700 to 1900, now population has come down, still population rises. So it is predicted that by 2050, the world population will rise up to about 9.7 billion. So despite the fact that the population growth rate has gone down, population still increases. Uh, that is about 134 million new births happening every year, and nearly 76 million deaths. So the balance is the deaths. So we have to cater to these mouths by 2050. Now our arable lands are dwindling, and water resources so much are becoming. So we have to cater to these mouths by 2050. So now our arable lands are dwindling, and water resources so much are becoming. So we have to cater to these mouths by 2050. So now our arable lands are dwindling. That is in future. We are already experiencing climate change. So, dear students, ladies and gentlemen, we have to face these challenges. Sustainable Development Goals. In year 2000, the world introduced Millennium Development Goals. After 2015, they introduced Sustainable Development Goals. Now we are to achieve Sustainable Development Goals by 2030. Just 4 years. Are we going to achieve SDGs? It's a nightmare. So, of course, we have to achieve uh, at least these three sustainable development goals that we will be addressing in food and nutrition: zero hunger and health and nutrition, as well as responsible consumption and production. Carbon footprint, I'm sure most of you are aware how much of greenhouse greenhouse gas emission is happening due to production of these food. If you look at the red bars, beef, lamb, and cheese, just three examples, all these meat production gives rise to more carbon footprint. And when it comes to primary production, fruits and vegetables and cereals, carbon footprint is less. So that highlights the fact that eating more meat, of course, we are putting a lot of burden to the world. Now there's new research going on in the world. How can we compress carbon dioxide and put inside the earth? That research is also going on, ladies and gentlemen. That's the latest research. But anyway, so far it has not been very successful. The main solution to reduce global warming is to reduce carbon footprint, and that is the at the moment the main way of reducing global warming, reducing climate change. Proper nutrition, why? For optimum health and well-being, proper nutrition is extremely important, and it is for individuals as well as for the society. Improves learning ability, improves physical strength, and prevents nutritional deficiencies, and finally minimizes NCDs, non-communicable diseases. Now, why NCDs in Sri Lanka and also in the rest of the world? NCD menace is rising. Um, Now, these are the figures from Sri Lanka, little outdated though, 2018, but again, these are the data that We have the most current ones. If you look at cardiovascular diseases, that is the biggest chunk, it's about 30%, followed by cancer, 14%. And chronic respiratory diseases, diabetes about 9%, the NCDs, and road deaths that goes into the 10%. And PIG, Eastern Province, knows very much about these road accidents and all. And heavy burden, best of my knowledge, every day at least 8 known deaths to happen. They also come under non-communicable diseases. And communicable diseases, the world has successfully controlled through vaccination, except for COVID that that plagued the entire world in 2019 after the first wave. But besides, all or most of the communicable diseases have come under this control of the world. But these NCDs are on the rise. Sri Lanka is of no exception. Our diabetes diabetes incidence has gone up to about 21% at the moment. So it is 1 in 5 in the country is diabetic. So diabetes, because of the associated comorbidities, the quality of life is explained by Delhi goes down. So that is one of the biggest problems. So therefore, these NCDs are preventable diseases. Of course, dietary habits are extremely important. So that is why I brought this into the picture. The NCDs can easily be controlled through our dietary habits. So why do we need nutrients? Body cells need energy for growth, production, repair, performing routine functions. Energy, of course, what happens is in our society, we take more calories than we require. So the balance is going to be deposited in the body in terms of fat. Um, we have in food macronutrients, micronutrients, as well as others. Now this is on the other part, phytochemicals. Many of our fruits and vegetables have phytochemicals. These are extremely beneficial. Few examples: antioxidants and anti-inflammatory agents. These are our fruits and vegetables, especially Sri Lanka has many underutilized fruits. Unfortunately, they are not available in the market. They are extremely rich in these vitamins. Why I wrote this picture here, everybody knows that these are carbohydrate rich. But some of the items that we use as vegetables are also carbohydrates. Good example is jackfruit, breadfruit, yams, potatoes, local yams. These are most of the time we consume as vegetables, but not really vegetables. They are carbohydrate sources. And egg was the cheapest protein source for Sri Lankans. Pre-COVID, it was like 20 rupees, 15 rupees, but unfortunately, after that, during 2022, it shot up to 75 rupees. Now it has come down to 30, 35 rupees. And also the canned fish in Sri Lanka, we call salmon. Canned fish is the second best protein source, but that is also previously about 200 rupees. It has shot up to about 600, 700 rupees. So it is difficult for masses to buy these. These are the challenges that we face today, ladies and gentlemen. Fruits and vegetables, we take on little. The WHO recommendation is 200 grams of vegetables minimum, 200 grams of fruits minimum. In the strengthen this country. I did a study in 2012 at University of Kerala, went across all the faculties and estimated how much they consume students. And according to our estimate, it was just carrying 216 grams per day. 210 vegetables combined is far below than international standards. We are eating a lot of spices. That's very good because they are rich in phytochemicals like antioxidants and inflammatory agents. How to achieve proper nutrition? Well, This is guided by a food guide pyramid. The one on the left is old one, introduced by the United States Department of Agriculture. And this one, my pyramid, was introduced afterward in 2005. And Sri Lanka also introduced this pyramid a few years ago. So it's not in my control. Viewers in that. So this is the food guide pyramid recommended for Sri Lankans. You can see the bottom of the pyramid is carbohydrate. That is, you have to eat more carbohydrates compared to this. But Sri Lankans consume more carbohydrate than required henceforth. The plate of rice I will show you in a minute. How to adjust our plate. Now, carbohydrate. How can you use that? Okay. Then afterwards is fruits and vegetables, then proteins, and finally fat and sugar and salt should be named. How much of salt we should consume? Well, our salt consumption should be limited to 5.5 grams. That is theoretical calculation, but Sri Lankan average is about 12 grams because while we are cooking rice, we add salt. And so many processed foods do contain like ketchup, sauce, cheese, butter, margarine, all these are salted. Even peanuts available in the market, all salted. So therefore our salt consumption is little, not little, too high compared to what is recommended. See, this is what my plate concept. It was again introduced by the United States first, and we have adopted for our Sri Lankan context. Half of the plate should be carbohydrate. It, it is rice and potato in this example. And two-thirds of the rest should be vegetables. And the balance one-third should be protein source. If you are a vegetarian, fine. You can have soy meat and other vegetarian sources like pulses, dal, lentils. And if you are a meat eater, fish eater, you can have meat and fish. So this is the best way. But this is not what we see. You go to a restaurant and ask for a pack of rice, maybe 1 kilo of rice and a little bit of vegetables. And it should be okay. It's high time for us to finish this habit that has been a biggest killer in Sri Lanka. Eat rich foods, that is our foundation of the pyramid. Eat plenty of vegetables and fruits. Eat fish, just favorite. Get the foods of all the foods. Consume milk. And lots of myths around the consumption of milk. Our Indian nation. But in other countries, they carry 1.5 liter bottles. The adults should drink at least 2 liters of water converted to glasses of water. But it does not happen in Sri Lanka. I know in many The teachers themselves ask students, especially in girls' colleges, not to bring water bottles into the classroom. Toilet facilities are good and all, which is extremely bad. And we have my body has index. That is what is ideal. The BMI is calculated weight in kilos divided by height square meters. Now, BMI cutoff for the international world is not applicable for Asians. So, therefore, quite recently, the WHO introduced the different cutoffs for Asians because they found that Asians are more prone for diseases at the same BMI. So, if you compare ourselves with the Caucasian, we have to have a lesser BMI to be healthy. For example, our range is so the normal range is 80 25 for Caucasians, whereas for Asians it should be limited to 20. Is it? So everybody should maintain their BMI within that range to be healthy. Few good food habits, just tree nuts. Unfortunately, we have only limited cashew nuts in Sri Lanka and also expensive. General masses is difficult. 1 kilo is nearly 3,000 rupees these days. Rice, everybody is going behind red rice. There's no scientific basis. Well, at least little better than white. But what is important is you have to have the brand. So as long as brand is there, it doesn't matter whether it is red or white. And there are two types. Um, uh, this refined rice is what we should minimize, but we have to include unpolished rice as well. At least one third. That is a recommendation. Doesn't matter whether it is well. Yeah. Okay. The my plate concept is important as mentioned here. Snacking should be mini. Again, we have to have a better control. Better to avoid, minimize these snacks. And these items, the amount fat is hidden is. We will talk about fat in a minute. Although we cannot see from outside, they do contain a lot of fat. So you should know the formula, which I will tell you in a minute. In these, they do have a lot of saturated fats, so it should be realized. Okay, low GI or glycemic index. Low glycemic. When we consume high glycemic, most of these sugars they are high glycemic. The moment you consume, our blood sugar rises sharp, and the sharp rise is seen, and immediately after it drops, which is not healthy, and the body is burnt, stressed out because of this. What is required is that the graph, the red graph is the high glycemic response, which is not. So what we prefer is a lower graph, which is in orange color. So what are the low glycemic food? Next slide, please. Yeah, these are some examples. Whole wheat flour. Now, in this, rare to find in even in supermarket, but instead we have atta. So atta flour There's a slight difference between these two, but Atta is the Indian version, so that is all right. So when you are making chapati, roti, or anything, have at least one third of atta and refine the rest. That's refine that is less. Previous one, previous slide, previous one. Uh, then there are many native millets, and unfortunately they are not available in the market and ground passes. Atta, next slide. The use of oil should be people are arguing what oil is the best, but my formula is we have to control, we have to limit the calorie intake through oil to 30%. So your daily calorie requirement is 2000. Out of 2000, 30% should come from oil. That is the maximum. And saturates, our main oil, coconut oil is very saturated. 92% saturated. So therefore, saturated oils should be limited to less than 10% of the requirement. As a 30% as gram, it is about 65 gram for an healthy adult. So fat from all sources should be limited to 65 gram. Slide, please. Dietary fiber is important, but unfortunately during refining we remove dietary fiber. So we have to make sure that we consume at least some amount of unrefined cereals, pulses, etc. Antioxidants, the most of our Sri Lankan fruits are rich in antioxidants. One example is here. Our best antioxidant source is tea. We are drinking at least 3 cups of tea, almost everyone. That is the best source. Whether it is green tea or black tea doesn't matter. They contribute a lot. Lots of catechins. 4 types of catechins are there in tea. So it is good to have tea. And also these, especially these berry varieties, plum, etc., they're extremely rich in anthocyanin and other phenolic compounds like flavonoids. So very good. Then finally, precision nutrition is the latest and is still being experimented. Now, until today, we are talking about this nutrition for the entire mass, entire population. But now the latest findings show that the individuals are responding differently to the same food because of their genetic makeup differences. They respond differently. So the formula that will work for me will not work for you. This is a cutting edge field nowadays. They are looking at the genetic makeup, how the genetic makeup has influence on utilization of food. So that is precision nutrition assumes that each person may have a different response to specific nutrients. The best diet for one individual may look very different compared to the best diet for another. So therefore, a lot of work is currently going on um, to identify these relationships. These factors include not only genetics but even race and gender and health history, their lifestyle habits, and finally microbiome. Now everybody, all of us do have trillions, not billions, but trillions of microorganisms, bacteria inside our lower gut, mostly in the colon and the large intestine and part of large intestine is colon. We have trillions of bacteria, most of which are helpful. There are some harmful ones as well. So depending on now, my composition of gut microbiome is totally different from yours. So that again, genetic factors and also our food habits. Okay. So therefore, this microbiome is extremely influential in determining your overall health. Lots of work is currently going on in identifying this composition of microbiome and identify the effect of microbiome on nutrition as well as general health. This gut-brain axis is well defined. The composition of microbiome is definitely affecting even mental health of people. So, because of these factors, the way the nutrition works for you is different from somebody else. Substantial variations in blood response of glucose and triacylglycerol of individuals in different identical meals. Two persons, A and B, eating the same meal, but their response to glucose, response to triglyceride is totally different. So that is what is being explained by precision nutrition. Microbiome leads to variations in blood triglycerides after a meal. Non-food factors, even like sleep, everybody should sleep at least 6 hours daily. Physical activity, everybody should be physically active, especially students, all ages should be physically active. And time of meals also cause variations. Now, we are used to have three heavy meals, which is again bad. You have to cut off part of your breakfast and cut off part of your midday meal and have a sizable snack in between. So the recommendation is to spread out throughout the day so that your body is less stressed out. Um, Variations in blood levels of glucose as well as triglycerides are. So this is my take-home message. Proper nutrition is essential for both at individual level as well as societal level. And the responsible production and consumption is extremely important because our renewable land is fast dwindling and water becomes more and more scarce. Climate change, we have to face all these changes. Amidst all this, our number of mouths keeps increasing. So by 2050, we have to feed nearly 10 billion people, which is going to be an extreme challenge. So therefore, responsible consumption. When you go for dinners, parties, weddings, other functions, you see how much of food is waste because you start serving huge heap of rice and you don't have enough space on the plate to have others serve. So in the end, you take unnecessary amount finally goes to waste. It's total waste. So to produce this food, we have disturbed our soil. We have added a lot of chemicals in the soil. We have spent a lot of money and effort and finally goes into dustbin. It's total waste. So it should be avoided, should be minimized at least. And the other side of the coin is NCDs. NCDs are on the rise. Last year, nearly 200,000 deaths purely because of rising from cardiovascular diseases. So therefore, these are preventable through dietary habits. And finally, precision nutrition is on the cards. Precision nutrition, again, as the AI will revolutionize world, precision nutrition, precision medicine will revolutionize the world. Thank you very much.
For that enlightening address that has truly set the intellectual compass for this conference. I'm honored to invite our Vice Chancellor, Professor P.P. Devan, a special token of appreciation to Professor W.M. Terence Madaji in recognition of his outstanding contributions to TCOR 2025. Event Great occasion is made even more memorable by the presence of an inspiring personality who brings wisdom, experience, and encouragement to the gathering. Today, we are indeed privileged to have with us our distinguished guest of honor, Dr. N. Kodandaraman, who is a distinguished academic and marine biologist whose career reflects a deep commitment to research, education, and institutional development. He currently serves as an academic consultant at the Indian Maritime University in Chennai, where he continues to shape academic strategy and innovation in maritime studies. With a strong academic foundation rooted in marine biology, contributing to both research and academic leadership. His degree includes notable publications on the species, composition, and abundance of techniques of plant-topic stereotypes vital to marine ecosystems. During his research, Dr. Gopal Raman served as project manager for the Inaugration initiative to foster innovation and entrepreneurship in South Asian universities. We are honored to by his business and work for his continuous support for global research and academic excellence. Please join me in welcoming Dr. N. Raman to the stage. Session. Therefore, we kindly request you to remain on the stage for moments after your address.
Morning and warm welcome to all of you. Most Honorable Professor Jayenda Athanasinghe, His Excellency Governor of Eastern University, Honorable Vice Chancellor Professor Deepan, Eastern University Sri Lanka, respected Professor Sundaresan, Rector, Trikonal Campus, distinguished keynote speakers, deans, heads, faculty members, academic committee members, fellow researchers, students, and delegates, and former Rector Professor Devadasan. On behalf of Indian Maritime University, Federal University Government of India comes under Ministry of Port, Shipping and Waterways. Extend a very warm welcome to all the participants of the 7th International Conference, Econ 2025, held under the inspiring theme Training Civility through a Sustainable Eco-Just Society, Bridging Cultures, Science and Technologies. This prestigious event is jointly organized by the Trikonamala campus, Eastern University, Sri Lanka, in collaboration with the Indian Maritime University, Chennai. At the outset, I wish to express our sincere gratitude to the Honorable Vice Chancellor of Eastern University, the Rector, the Organizing Secretary, and to the entire team of Trikon 2025 for giving us this opportunity to join as a co-partner for this significant event. The conference theme, Bridging Cultures, Science, Technologies, beautifully captures what sustainable transformation truly requires. Science provides knowledge, technology offers tools, and culture gives meaning. Our traditional cultures, particularly in South Asia, have always emphasized harmony with nature. The concept of Vasudeva Kudubaham, the Indian philosophy meaning the world is one planet, mirrors the ecological principles of interdependence. By integrating this wisdom with modern science such as oceanographic research, environmental modeling, and renewable energy, we can design solutions that are not only efficient but also ethical and inclusive. For example, the use of AI, artificial intelligence, and satellite monitoring for real-time tracking of marine pollution or bioremediation technologies to restore degraded coastlines and promising areas where scientific innovation can support ecological justice. Similarly, community-based coastal resource management supported by local knowledge ensures that people who depend on the sea are also its primary audience. Education, research, and policy integration. Academic institutions play a pivotal role in nurturing this transformation. Universities must not only produce research papers but also actionable knowledge solutions that inform policy, empower communities, and inspire young minds to think beyond disciplinary boundaries. We need transdisciplinary research centers that unite oceanography with the social science, engineering and technology, and data analytics with ethics. Programs that promote marine education, coastal resident studies, and sustainable maritime logistics are crucial to shaping the next generation of leaders who can navigate both the complexities of ecosystems and the demands of modern industry. As we deliberate and share our insights during this conference, let us remind that sustainability is not the responsibility of one nation, one discipline, or one generation. It is a shared endeavor, it's a global endeavor. The serenity we seek in our environment, societies, and minds can only be achieved through justice and cooperation. We must view the oceans not as a boundary that separates us, but as a bridge that connects cultures, economics, and each other. The waves that touch Sri Lanka's shores also touch India's and beyond, reminding us that environment knows no borders. Participation of this type of conference not only offers an academic, but also it will provide invaluable opportunity to appreciate and learn from each other's cultures, tradition, and intellectual heritage. This platform serves an excellent opportunity for research for scientists, interact with experts, exchange ideas, and increase their understanding, thereby advancing their research and academic pursuits. In this context, as a maritime university, we would like to share few insight on Indian maritime sector, which continues to play a pivotal role in the national development and regional cooperation. With a coastline of over 11,098 kilometers, 12 major ports, and more than 200 non-major ports, India earns nearly 95% of its trade by volume through maritime sector. Aided by Maritime Vision, India Vision 2030, MIP 2030, American Vision 2047, and the Sagarmala program, the country is advancing towards port-led development, green and digital shipping, and sustainable blue economy practices. India's maritime strategy now integrate innovation, decarbonization, and community development, aiming to build a resilient and eco-conscious ocean economy. The focus is not only on enhancing port efficiency and connectivity, but also promoting marine research, shipbuilding, renewable energy, and sector training, positioning India as a responsible maritime nation committed to the sustainable and equitable ocean future. India and Sri Lanka, both statistically strategically located in Indian Ocean region, can play a leading role in shaping regional blue economy, partnership and integrated sustainability, innovation and equity. Collaboration across research institutions, universities, and industries in these regions can foster new models for marine governance and shared policy. Indian Maritime University and the Eastern University Himalayan campus has already signed an MOU to understand, collaborate with each other on mutually areas like marine, maritime, and marine research and blue economy, all the areas. We hope that we continue our collaboration and we will come with some novel innovation ideas or proposals that will help both countries safely. I sincerely commend the organizers for creating such a vibrant platform that brings together researchers, academicians, policymakers, and practitioners from diverse disciplines to exchange knowledge, share innovation, and explore holistic solutions. Such academic engagements are vital in shaping informed perspectives in inspiring collective action toward a sustainable and inclusive future. I'm confident that the discussions and deliberation at Equal 2025 will meaningfully contribute to our shared understanding of how we can build an eco-just society, one that harmonious development, the compassion, equity, and environmental responsibility. With this, I wishing Equal 2025 a grand success and have a fruitful celebration. Thank you and be on.
Thank you, sir, for your address. It is my pleasure to invite conference co-chair, Mr. Ms. Ishar Ali, to present a swearing to Dr. N. Kodadaraman in recognition of his valuable contribution. With that, I gracefully hand over the podium to my co-host, Ms. Fatima Saka, to lead us through the next part of this wonderful event. It's the world around us evolves. Language of art. So now, ladies and gentlemen, open your hearts to the rhythm of the world as we present this mesmerizing fusion dance where East meets West, tradition meets tomorrow, choreographed by Inaugration Department of Language and Communication Studies. What a spectacular harmony of cultures. The dancers have truly shown art knows no borders. Only hearts beat in unison. Let's appreciate them once more with a huge round of applause. Moving on to the next program. It is now my distinct honor and privilege to introduce a distinguished scholar, thought leader, and tireless advocate for human and national security. Dr. Ramesh Kannagampi is the founder and executive director of the Center for Human Security Studies, Hyderabad. India's pioneering think tank exclusively focused on human and national security with a PhD from Jawaharlal Nehru University and postdoctoral research from Bar Ilan University in Israel. His academic journey is both inspiring and impactful. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming our distinguished keynote speaker, Dr. Ramesh Kanagampi, to deliver keynote address. We will be honored to present you with a token of appreciation. Therefore, we kindly request you to remain on the stage for a few moments after your address. So, the stage is yours.
morning, everyone. I can see in each one of you in the eyes and can understand what you are expecting from an agricultural laborer's son from Andhra Pradesh, India. There is a place called Tenali, Tenali. That's the place I took birth. Tenali Raman, Tenali Ram. Some stories from Chandamama when you are growing up. So that's the place where I come from. My dad is an agricultural laborer. Till my grad, I was in Telugu medium, one of the local vernacular languages in India. And my great grandfather was shot by the British in 1922 because British imposed a tax on the firewood. He fought valiantly against that and he was shot in 1922 in Guntur district. Right now it's called the Palnadu region. So that's the background that I come from. I'm sure Sri Lanka, the land of Buddha, serenity, peace, tranquility, will have so much to offer to the entire world. So, when I look at the youngsters here and the distinguished audience in the front seats, Honorable Vice Chancellor sir, Honorable Rector sir, Dr. Pudan Raman sir from Indian Maritime University, Captain Vishwanathan sir, Aruna madam, many other distinguished professors here, I would like to take one moment to tell you one important story. We understand the title of the theme under which this umbrella we all have gathered for attaining serenity through a sustainable, eco-just society, bridging cultures, bridging sciences, bridging technologies. For what sake? To achieve human security. As the founder and executive director of a think tank in Hyderabad, in India, human security is what we all have been striving to achieve. Freedom from want, freedom from fear, freedom to live with dignity are the three cornerstones of human security, which is the setting of the tone for this particular conference. Also, in other words, achieving serenity. You cannot achieve serenity without having human security intact. Just imagine you and me did not have the breakfast. You and me don't have the clothes to wear. You and me don't have self esteem. You and me are denied of basic human rights. Can we achieve serenity? Can we achieve progress? Can we achieve the tranquility? We cannot. So, I request each one of you to become the human security crusader, the championing of human security. Without achieving human security, we cannot have the science progressing, the technology prospering, or the culture thriving. So, human security is the foundation upon which you build a national security narrative, be it Sri Lankan national security or Indian national security, for that matter, owns global security or international security for that matter. So, I request each one of you, when you look into the eyes of the speaker as I'm standing before you and talking, you should have five important fitnesses. My earlier speaker, sometime back, from the University of Philadelphia, Honorable Vice Chancellor Sir, made a food for thought presentation. I request each one of you to have five important Panchaputas elements that leads to five important fitnesses. The physical fitness, the intellectual fitness, the spiritual fitness, the emotional fitness, leading to financial fitness. All five important fitnesses we should possess to achieve
human security, to achieve serenity, to achieve peace, progress, prosperity. So, I would like to request each one of you, especially the young scholars, students, God has given you a beautiful life, a beautiful country to live in. Take two things as your inspiration. Motivation comes and goes, but have the discipline to sustain the ideals that I'm going to tell you now. Fell in love or fall in love with your mother and motherland. That will inspire you forever to achieve greater heights. Just for a second, think about the mother, the biological mother that you are born to, and the motherland that you are right now, Sri Lanka. Then you ask a question to yourself: who am I? What am I doing here? What is the goal that I have set for myself and for my country and to the humanity? And what are the means and ways to achieve that remarkable feat of having a name, good name in the history book, to leave a legacy for your posterity? With this, I would like to tell each one of you: enjoy life, but at the same time, be on a mission mode. Have a plan, have a preparation. You have to participate and then make it inspire your life. So, I'm giving you four important elements: plan, perspire, inspire. You got to plan it, you got to prepare, you got to perspire, you got to inspire. With these goals, I would like to tell you that I am so overwhelmed and happy and very, very moved and touched by the emotional love and warmth that you have shown in the last 1 hour when I visit your country for the first time to India. Your intent, your content, and your character has been performed here. Wonderful intention, wonderful content, and wonderful character is being displayed from this august gathering and on this podium. I request now to listen to what I have to say about the topic. If you can give me, if you can lend your ears, if you can lend your heart and soul for 3 minutes, I would like to take you to a new, different world which is fitting to the theme. How do you attain serenity? How do you attain serenity? When I talk to you, I request you to think about the global geopolitical, geostrategic realities of 23rd October 2025 from Eastern University, Trincomalee campus. Just think about this. Israel, Palestine on one hand, Iran, Israel conflict on the other hand, North Korea, South Korea, Russia, Ukraine conflict, and there are so many other theater of warfares that are happening on this particular planet Earth now. There are some natural disasters, there are some man-made disasters. Amidst these disasters, we need to focus on attaining serenity. Is it possible? Is it achievable? Is it doable? Can we do it? Yes, that's what Buddha taught us. If you have the focus, if you have the sacrifice, if you can take suffering, if you can take pain as a progress, we can do it. This is with kind of attitude you can make things happen for the planet Earth. So it is the knowledge, it is the skill, it is the attitude that determines our altitude in life. So, my dear students, my dear respected faculty members, when I say this, what I mean is we should have the right intent, right content, right character to live a life of sagaciously and audaciously to make change for the betterment of the human development or human security. This should be the watchword. This should be the mantra. This should be the formula for our professional as well as personal
excellence in life. Why only few people could become great and get a place in the history books? Why not you and me? Is a question that you and me have to ask us for myself. In the same two hands, two legs, two eyes, why only some people could become great and help the humanity at large? 90% go as unsung heroes or people with below average mindsets. In the age of artificial intelligence, in the age of data sets, we should have the right kind of mindset to operate those data sets with ethical, legal, security, and sociological aspects. So, in an age of emerging technologies like artificial intelligence, blockchain, IoT, big data, 5G, we are trying to search for serenity. We are trying to build a bridge, break a barrier between continents, countries, cultures, and caste communities. So, use culture as a bridge, use science as a bridge, use technology as an enabler, not as a disabler, is what you got to tell yourself and work for it. Generally, in a university, is filled with 80% of the youth. That is dynamic, daring, very, very audacious in your mindsets. So,